I wonder if I made a choice after all.
The Boston Celtics. Man, this team is something else, because in previous years, I guess the past 2 or 3 years, they've been really timid. They haven't wanted to trade away their picks, they haven't wanted to trade away their players, they've only really tried to go after players in free agency, and it's gone alright. They acquired Al Horford, they acquired Gordon Hayward, but recently, they just traded for Kyrie Irving. Shout out to the new merchandise though. But seriously, they traded for Kyrie Irving, trading away Isaiah Thomas and Jay Crowder. For those that don't know, you should know. These guys were instrumental in what the Boston Celtics did going into last season. They were the heart and soul of the team, especially Isaiah Thomas, a man that lost his sister and still continued to play because he wanted to be a part of that Boston team, to lead his team to go to the playoffs and do something. I mean, Jay Crowder, he's a man that you really want on your team. Someone like a Jay Crowder, that's what any team would love to have. Now, I do think that the Celtics did make a really nice trade to get Kyrie Irving. They gave up a lot of pieces, but now their team is looking a lot better. In my opinion, Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward, Al Horford, Marcus Morris, I mean, it's a nice team, I won't lie. But they're not the same Boston Celtics that we've seen in the previous years. They don't have Avery Bradley, they don't have Isaiah Thomas, they don't have Jay Crowder. I mean, it's a completely different team. It really is. And I think what's getting lost in the big trade between Isaiah Thomas and Kyrie Irving is the implications of Gordon Hayward. Because when Gordon Hayward signed with the Celtics, he was obviously under the impression that they'd be the same team, the Boston Celtics team with heart and soul and defense, and the team that was the first seed in the Eastern Conference last year.
Raul Martinez with NBC Boston. Gordon, you know, you accepted this deal knowing that you had Isaiah Thomas and Jay Crowder. With this process with Kyrie and the trade, what was kind of going through your mind, seeing that's now a completely different roster with IT gone and Kyrie there?
Yeah, I mean, IT did a tremendous job as far as helping recruit me here to the city of Boston. He talked about Boston as a city, the fans, the organization, the coaches, the people that are involved behind the scenes. And, he was somebody that I was definitely excited about playing with. He had an unbelievable player, unbelievable year last year. I'd be lying if I said that wasn't the truth.
Gordon Hayward didn't join that team. Gordon Hayward has now joined a team with a completely different, starting five. They don't have 3 of the 5 guys on that roster anymore, which is a lot different to how a lot of people are really going to imagine the Boston Celtics. They don't really have that heart anymore. I mean, if you say that Kyrie Irving has heart, if you say Gordon Hayward has heart, sure. But I don't think it's Isaiah Thomas heart. I don't think it's Jay Crowder heart. They put their body on the line each and every game. I'm not saying they're going to be better than the 2 guys they got. That's not what I'm saying. But what I will say is that when any new team comes to the NBA, and I'm not talking about a new franchise, I'm talking about a Golden State Warriors team with Kevin Durant, I'm talking about a new team that acquires a star player, a superstar player, or even just an all-star player, things happen where they have to become adjusted to how each other play. Kyrie Irving needs to become adjusted to Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward has to become adjusted to Kyrie Irving and the rest of the Boston Celtics team. It's what happens with any team that forms together, any big 3. Miami took a while to form when they had LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. It just takes a while for these guys to connect, get that team chemistry, and obviously there was always going to be tweaks when they wanted to acquire Gordon Hayward. Avery Bradley was obviously the main guy that they were going to have to get rid of just to get that salary cap down to actually, sign Gordon Hayward. But in my opinion, and I don't know about you, this is just my opinion, Gordon Hayward was probably thinking that he was going to pair up with Isaiah Thomas and vice versa. Isaiah thought that he was going to be playing with Gordon Hayward, and some people may just say, well, that's the NBA, Nick, that's just what happens. But he would have definitely talked to Gordon Hayward and said, come down to Boston, we can do some big things. But now, Gordon Hayward is not going to be paired up with Isaiah Thomas anymore. He's going to be sharing the ball with Kyrie Irving. Now, I will say, both players are ISO point guards. They both do love to, pound the ball. But Kyrie Irving, in my opinion, I think he's a little bit more demanding of the ball and thrives in isolation situations more than Isaiah Thomas, who can be a catch and shoot player and doesn't really demand as much as Kyrie. Yes, they are both ISO players, but I do think that Kyrie Irving is a little bit different to Isaiah Thomas. Obviously, they're both definitely offensive point guards. They don't have great defensive skills, although Kyrie's probably a little bit better on defense simply because, well, he's just a little bit taller than Isaiah, who is definitely undersized against most point guards in the NBA, if not all point guards in the NBA, but that doesn't take away anything from his offensive game. But I do think Kyrie Irving can honestly take away a little bit from Hayward's game and overall touches and influence towards the end of the game, because Kyrie Irving, despite how good he is, he does love to demand the ball. And yes, he has been playing with LeBron James, and it's a little bit different now because LeBron and Hayward are, I guess they're different players. LeBron's definitely more of a pass-first player, and Hayward's more of a shooter and more of a stretch kind of player. But it's that fit that I just don't see as nice than a Hayward, Isaiah Thomas fit. But that's just me. Now, not only that, like I mentioned at the start of the video, the majority of the roster is just change. I mean, there is no hard-nosed defensive-minded pieces anymore. There's no Avery Bradley. There's no Jay Crowder. There's no Isaiah Thomas. That, to me, is what made Boston. And honestly, I'm not a huge Boston fan, but I will admit, that team was hard. That team showed hustle and that team showed determination. They wouldn't have been half as good if they didn't have these type of players, defensive-minded players, heart players, because to me, that's what wins games. To me, that's why they were the first seed in last year's NBA Eastern Conference. So personally, I'm so excited to see how the Celtics will play on the offensive side of the court, because they've got Kyrie Irving, they've got Gordon Hayward, and they've got Al Horford, a nice big three in the Eastern Conference. But the defense, I'm more intrigued to see how they're going to play on defense, because they don't have their defensive-minded guys anymore. They don't have their hustle players. They don't have their heart and determination. It's going to be interesting. Now, I'm not hating on the Celtics. I understand why they got Kyrie Irving for Isaiah Thomas. I understand obviously why they got Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward was the amazing offseason move in my opinion. But it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out, and it's going to be interesting to see how Gordon Hayward feels about the whole situation, in my opinion, because he joined a Celtics team which he thought he was joining, but honestly, I don't think it's the same Celtics team. They only have 4 players that they had in last year's roster, so think about that for a second. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, it would be awesome if you guys could leave a like. Let's aim for 4,000 likes. Number 4, Isaiah Thomas, respect the name. New merchandise on the store if you guys want to go check it out. New NBA merchandise, especially that Isaiah Thomas one. It's almost rare considering that now he's a part of the Cleveland Cavaliers. That Boston stint was amazing. 2 years in Boston, now he's gone. Remember Isaiah Thomas in Boston. If you're a Boston fan, he's got to be one of your favorite players. So if you want that merch, get it quick because it's going to sell out soon. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new if you want more NBA content just like this one. And I'll catch you guys in my next one.
I wonder if I'm